Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to an evening live stream. I don't normally do this unless there's something that needs to be done, and today something needs to be done. They are doing the first of two budget votes. So if the budget passes, then the budget passes. Or the vote for the budget. If the vote for the budget fails, it triggers non-confidence and then an election. So they're literally voting on this soon. In the next 45 minutes, it's going to be happening. So I don't know if this was strategically done. The government did say that they were going to do this later on, but Pierre Poilievre was outside of Ottawa today. I think he was in Quebec, and all of a sudden the government's like, yeah, let's do it now. Why not, right? So one vote is happening today. The opposition gets to table their amendments, and then they get to vote on it. And then tomorrow they're doing the Bloc Québécois. So we're gonna literally know right now on this stream if the budget passes or fails. Now, I don't want to get people's hopes up. I really don't want to get people's hopes up because we don't really know what's going to happen. And then also, I don't even know if we know what we want to happen. Like, do you want the budget to go down and trigger an election, or do you want the budget to get approved and we spend $78 billion? We're gonna have to see, right? I don't know how many people really want an election right now. Maybe you watching do want an election. I think that if we have an election right now, then you could have liberals poaching more seats. I don't like the idea of that. And that would give them a majority government. But at the same time, I also don't like the idea of a 78 point whatever billion dollar budget. So we're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. And we're going to have to see how politics kind of unravels itself, because you never know. Sometimes you get thrown curveballs, and sometimes some things happen that are very, very surprising. So again, we're going to have more information here on this stream. I see down in the chat someone saying, can't Pierre vote electronically? Yes, absolutely, he can. Yeah, everyone can vote electronically. However, the thing about that is people like you would want Pierre in the house for this, right? You would want him to be able to speak. You would want him to be able to like discuss some of these things in person and be the leader of the opposition that we all kind of fell in love with, right? The attack dog. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. I just got some breaking news here. I'm just pulling things up. Okay. I'm just pulling things up right now. So here was the announcement right after we stopped streaming Question Period. Go figure, huh? Go figure, right after QP ends. So right after QP ends, this popped up. Mackenzie Gray, Global News. The first confidence vote on the budget is happening at around 5:45 p.m. Eastern. So in about 40 minutes, 35 minutes from now. After the Liberal Party of Canada deemed amendments the Conservatives have brought forward, it will be a matter of confidence. I have a hard time thinking that the NDP will vote for those, so the government is likely to survive. And then initially, Glenn E. McGregor said a vote coming up in the House of Commons tonight. It looks like Carney's government will survive. At least this week, NDP MPs will vote with the government on first confidence vote on budget per Canadian press. Correction, Don Davies from the NDP says. The NDP has not decided to support the Liberal budget. We are voting no today on a Conservative amendment that is totally unacceptable, calling for massive public service cuts, more pipelines, and austerity. So, I mean, if Okay. So it looks like the government's going to survive today. Oh my goodness. What the hell is the point of any of this? The NDP, I mean, we're going to still watch for the formality because, I mean, what the hell? But the NDP is going to be voting no to the Conservative amendments, right? So each opposition party that has official party status gets to put forward an amendment, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. So the Conservatives today get to put forward their changes to the budget. And either you vote for the changes or you vote for the budget. Then tomorrow the Bloc does it. Now the NDP, they're not official party status. And so I don't know if they'll actually get a full dedicated day for publishing their amendments, but the Bloc is tomorrow. So the Conservatives are today, Bloc is tomorrow, and it looks like we have a spoiler. The NDP is not going to vote in favor of Pierre's and the Conservative Party's changes. This is the first of 3 days of voting. Okay, so today is one, tomorrow is the Bloc's, and then the final official vote for whether the budget passes or fails is on November 17th. So today we're taking a look at Pierre Poilievre and the Conservatives' motion to make changes to the budget. Yeah, I know. If it's all complicated, if it's all weird, that's because it is. It is all very complicated and all weird. Or maybe it's not to you. Maybe you have like full grasp of it and a full understanding, but it does get very weird and meticulous at certain points. But we have a little bit of time to kill. So we're going to take a look here at this video.
Hello and welcome to CTV News across Canada for Thursday, November 6th. We've got the top local stories from coast to coast, stories that affect you and the country. Thanks for joining us.
There were high fives and hugs all around as d'Entremont entered the Liberal caucus room in Ottawa this morning. He was escorted in by the Prime Minister. On the other side of the aisle, members of the Conservative Party accused him of breaking in the same boat as he was and maybe thinking of jumping ship, but he said he'd let them tell their own stories. A Conservative MP since 2019, d'Entremont won his seat in the last election with a narrow 1.1% margin of victory. That's just 533 votes. CTV's Jonathan McGuinness spent the day in Yarmouth asking constituents how they feel about d'Entremont's move and suddenly living in a federal Liberal riding.
The federal riding of Acadianapolis is now in the hands of the governing Liberal Party. Longtime Conservative MLA and MP Chris d'Entremont crossed the floor to join the party. He's opposed provincially and federally since 2003. d'Entremont, seen here with Pierre Poilievre at Acadian celebrations in Yarmouth back in August of 2024, cited uncertainty about the current path of the Tories under Poilievre and voiced support for Prime Minister Mark Carney's first budget as his reasons for defecting. d'Entremont won the riding that stretches from Berwick to West Pubnico by a little more than 500 votes in the April election. It was the only Conservative win in the province. Now, the Liberals have all 11 seats. While the Prime Minister welcomes d'Entremont with open arms, constituents have mixed reactions.
Well, I'm excited because, we were kind of the only blue spot and a bunch of red before, so I'm excited to see what he'll bring now that he's switched over to the Liberal side and, see what it does for Kingston and this Kings region. I think it'll be great.
I'm not very happy about that. I'm not very much impressed with the Liberals. They have done a lot of harm to the country, and I'm not very pleased that he did that.
I was kind of in the middle. I mean, I think he's always done a good job for Yarmouth, so whatever he feels is best is fine by me.
Chris has always sort of impressed me as somebody that has some smarts and some ethics and really does care about the riding that he's in.
A confidence vote on the budget could happen by the middle of the month, and with d'Entremont now crossing the floor, the Liberals are just 2 seats shy of a majority government. Jonathan McGuinness, CTV News, Yarmouth. This school was the site of a strange incident during the municipal election in Rawdon. Veterans with the Royal Canadian Legion were out trying to sell poppies until they were asked to leave.
The manner it happened wasn't the best. We're maybe a little too passionate in trying to approach people and explain to them about the poppy, and some people are not overly receptive.
The Legion usually has a booth set up at the polling center, but were asked to leave when one member started going up to people in line. Technically, doing that at the polls is illegal, even for charitable reasons like selling poppies.
Even if the cause is noble and it's a good cause, you just can't do it.
The mayor of Rawdon says it was blown out of proportion and wishes the staff at the polling center handled it differently.
It's making a mountain out of a molehill. It was a complete misunderstanding. There was never any intention of disrespect towards the veterans.
The Legion agrees, but still feels it's an opportunity to remind people about the importance of the poppy.
It's critically important that we remember where those freedoms come from. Freedom isn't given sometimes, it has to be won.
Poppies are worn every November to commemorate the soldiers that lost their lives serving Canada. But for veterans, it holds a little bit more significance.
The donations that come in for the poppy, they help veterans. They helped me personally. It's very dear to my heart.
Kenneth Johnson served in the Navy for 20 years. When he came home, he was sick. The Poppy Fund helped him pay off his mortgage when he couldn't work.
So, little known fact. I don't know if I've ever shared this, and I see a comment in the chat saying thank you for your service. Thank you, I appreciate that. The Poppy Fund actually saved my life. Several years ago, I was like completely bankrupt. I had to move into a vehicle to live in because I had nowhere else to go. I had insane amount of debt and I couldn't take care of myself. And I went to the Legion because I'm a veteran. And the Legion actually went through the Poppy Fund, looked at all my financials, my spending, money coming in, money going out, everything. And was like, yep, okay, you're in a shit situation, bud. And they didn't give me cash. They gave me gift cards to the Superstore and the attached gas station. I think it's Mobile or Electron or whatever the hell it's called. Mobile gas, like gift cards and stuff. So they weren't just giving like cash that you can use on whatever. It was like actual gift cards for things that are necessities. And saved my ass. 100%. 100% saved my ass. And so I have so much respect for the Legion and so much respect for the Poppy Fund. So if anyone's ever like, oh, I don't really know what this money goes to. Yeah, man, it actually helps people. It really does. Really, really does.
It saved me. We're still losing people. And veterans are coming back from combat zones who can barely function, and it helps them.
Even the ones that came back, some of them aren't quite right ever again. We owe them a debt of gratitude, and that's what the poppy is to remind us of.
Legion 198 is hoping the incident at the polling station ends up encouraging people to support the Poppy campaign. Jack Richardson, CTV News, Rawdon.
There's a lot of confused and upset people, and some of them are experiencing this for nothing. We just don't know. So we're carrying on as if everything were normal and waiting for the hammer to fall down.
I'm just waiting until it actually passes to react. Everyone's talking about it, but until it passes, nothing much we can do.
A cold and gloomy day in the nation's capital, fitting for thousands of public sector workers wondering if they will soon be out of work.
I still need the job to raise my family, so it's bad that the economy is not that great.
While some fear job cuts, others are intrigued by the prospect of an early retirement.
I will wait to see what will be the option, and if it's a good deal for me to retire now, I will. For me, I think it's a good budget. Yeah.
The federal budget laid out non-specific plans to cut the federal workforce by 28,000 jobs by 2029, a move union leaders say will impact services all Canadians rely on.
We've seen the same tired story before, first under Chrétien and then under Harper. They cut tens of thousands of workers, and then they are forced to hire them back again when public services fall apart.
The Prime Minister disagrees, arguing the measures announced in the budget will make the public service more effective.
We're making government much more productive by right-sizing, cutting red tape and wasteful spending, and adopting AI at scale.
Either way, the job cuts will hit Ottawa harder than anywhere else, and the business community is calling for support.
What we'll be looking for is a thoughtful transition, both to redeploy that workforce in our own economy here, and also looking for additional support in diversifying the economy.
And while federal workers wait for clarity, many are just trying to stay positive.
I'm smiling because we have no choice but to accept what's coming on and work with it.
Now, Ottawa's Mayor Mark Sutcliffe, he's also highlighting the need for the government to provide some more clarity here, pointing to the current feeling of uncertainty that's really permeating right throughout the city.
A Dodge Ram pickup truck, the middle of its front bumper slightly caved in, sits just west of the pedestrian crosswalk at Bathurst and St. Clair. This is where a 49-year-old man was struck around 6:40 a.m. during the morning commute.
It's very sad. I hope he's alive.
You don't want to hear that anybody's been hurt.
Well, it's just busy, right? Everything's busy. There's people everywhere. You got to keep an eye out. You got to pay attention.
Police quickly cordoned off the area east and west of Bathurst along St. Clair and north and south on Bathurst, so collision reconstruction experts could piece together exactly what happened.
Got everybody app friendly.
As a result of the collision, 3 bus routes were detoured or rerouted, with the 512 St. Clair streetcar suspended between Oakwood and St. Clair West Station for more than 5 hours.
All I'm just asking the supervisor is just on a fair note, is just asking that there be a better way to communicate with the public. We have a public that's standing on St. Clair all the way down to Guns Road that have no idea what's happening here at Bathurst and St. Clair.
There is no sign anywhere to walk this much from the subway all the way past over there, you know. It's terrible.
Many commuters were aggravated about the interruption in TTC service this morning.
We were waiting for the 512 to go on St. Clair and Dufferin, but we don't really know.
Late for school?
Yep.
If we start walking now, we'll be like at least 20 minutes late.
Still others reflected on the dangers of being a pedestrian in a neighborhood.
It's very dangerous. People try to go by.
I was riding a motorcycle like before and I got struck by a truck too.
I've seen it too many times where somebody will blow a light and almost hit me or other pedestrians.
Okay. Let's just take a break from this for a second and let me address to all the new people that are filing into the live stream right now. They are doing a vote on the Conservatives' motion to make amendments to the budget. And as per the government feed, this is the countdown, vote call. So in 25 minutes, we're going to start to get the votes. Okay. So if you're wondering like, what's going on? What this title says one thing and now it's something else. We're watching the news. What's going on? Now, you know, 24 minutes and 50 seconds now until we actually start to get some news from the votes. Okay. So that's what's going on. So we're all caught up. In the meantime, we're going to take a look at some more news stuff. That piece was a little boring. Sorry. I had like 5 minutes to prepare for this. 5 minutes. So give me a little break here. I'm doing my best. Okay. This interview right here is this is a panel done with CPAC about will other MPs cross the floor. So let's kill a little bit of time and take a look at this.
The Prime Minister, you know, as we begin here with Chris Don-Thurmond, the Prime Minister says he is still open to and willing to talk to anyone, add into that, anyone who's willing to cross the floor. Do you think that might still happen? Are there still MPs who might be willing, Susan?
I think there may still be MPs willing. I'm not sure if they will do it in time for the budget at this stage of the game. It was a big move for Chris Don-Thurmond to make that big step yesterday. I think that's something that he's been contemplating for a while. It was clear he couldn't put up with the toxicity of Mr. Poilievre. He put out a statement saying he wants to work with a leader who wants to build the country.
Okay. First of all, if you're going to accuse somebody of having toxicity and you're wearing glasses like that look like old televisions from the 1960s, then I don't think your opinion matters. I'm sorry, but you can't look like a clown and then accuse others of being clownish, right? Like it's just not how that works.
Not tear it down. And as the lone conservative from Nova Scotia, I think he's more of a progressive conservative and he's more comfortable in the direction that the Liberal Party's going. I think there are a few more conservatives who have difficulty with Mr. Poilievre's style of leadership and perhaps some of the policies. They may be a bit gun shy at the moment because some of Mr. d'Entremont's former colleagues absolutely eviscerated him publicly, and you can see why he would happily go.
Cole?
Yeah, I think that there's Liberal overtures to try to get more people to cross the floor, whether it's from the Conservative side or the New Democrats. But, you know, the Liberals are 2 votes away from their majority, so I'm sure they're lobbying hard to have that parliamentary security they currently don't have. In terms of d'Entremont, you know, I think a lot of people on the Conservative side view this, like caucus members, party members, you know, a lot of younger Conservatives view this as a bit of a betrayal of all of those entities within the movement, because you said something quite different 6 months ago. So now, when he runs again in the next election, and I hope he runs again as a Liberal candidate, he's going to have to explain to the voters in his riding why he decided to cross the floor and why he didn't mean what he said he meant and why he didn't mean the criticisms he had for the Liberal Party and Mark Carney just 6 months ago.
Okay, I'm going to pick up on that point in a second, but, you know, Cole mentioned the fact that it's not...
I don't know if he will run in the next election. I really don't. And he's already secured his pension, I think, a couple weeks ago. So I don't really like, let's just say there is no upcoming election and somehow Carney gets the right amount of votes to pass his budget. Like, let's just play the what if game because it's fun. Why not? Then theoretically, Carney could just be in power for 3.5 more years without running an election, right? Until the next scheduled federal election. And even then, it can get pushed further back, right? There's a little bit of leeway on that one. I think it's mandatory for an election to take place every 5 years. They do it every 4, but it could be pushed, and it could be pushed even further under different circumstances. So, and plus, Chris d'Entremont, or whatever the hell his name is, he's already got his pension, if I'm not mistaken. So he doesn't give a shit at this point. I don't think. Like, sure, maybe there was some incentive financially for him to make the shift, but like 3 years down the road, I mean, he's like Jagmeet, like he's got it in the bag.
Just Conservatives who the Liberals are probably reaching out to. They're also probably reaching out to New Democrats. Are there potential MPs who might cross?
Yeah, I don't see it at this point. I think, you know, there was a lot of talk right off the bat, right after the election, if that would happen. But I think, you know, as unique as this caucus might be among the New Democrats, and I'll admit that it's not the most the very diverse group of 7 people within that caucus, but I think all of them are pure New Democrats and true believers. I think also some of them come from seats that are pretty solidly New Democrats. So it's going to be hard to see any of those people move, especially since they haven't already. I think the Conservative side, I mean, like the rumor mill in Ottawa is what it is, and so you can never know what to believe. But, you know, I've heard upwards of 7 names from the Conservatives, and so a few of those have got to be real, probably. And I think it's true. They might be scared away. You know, it's interesting to watch the Conservatives be like d'Entremont, like, lost him. I hardly knew him. Like, this guy's been around for quite a while. He was the Deputy Speaker. He wanted to be Deputy Speaker again. He didn't get that. There's all kinds of things going on. And I think what we heard yesterday was that the Conservatives, rather than trying to show love to bring people back in, were cracking the whip. Yeah. And I think, frankly, for the progressive Conservative type folks, that was what was driving them away in the first place.
Okay, well, and
yeah, I mean, it sucks when a move like that is done vis-a-vis self-interest. Like, this wasn't done for any reasons other than something that Chris has something to gain personally. Like, his quality of life must have gone up from doing this. There must be some financial incentive or some perks that he's now getting. I think there's a $50K signing bonus for being Deputy House Speaker, right? The Mr. Speaker, the weirdo that wears the robe and stuff like that. I think you get a $50K bonus on top of the salary, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a big chunk of money, right? For him to be like, for him to not get it. Now, does this mean that he's going to be the speaker again? I don't know. There must be some incentive, but to better explain that, let's show this clip.
Which speaks to probably more of his self-interest than it does actual principle. Like, if red Tories actually existed and weren't just liberals, Jean Charest would have won the last federal conservative leadership race. The Conservative Party under Poilievre is something different, and it's not, middling centrists trying to just be the liberals. So if someone like d'Entremont wants to say that, oh, I wasn't comfortable any longer with this party, then that just sounds like, a middling conservative who just, at the drop of a hat, when it's more convenient, crosses the floor and becomes a liberal. Which speaks to probably.
Yeah. I mean, even if he disagreed with Pierre on certain things, you would think that he would be discussing things internally. You think that there would be some, on the low down discussions, or even maybe he'd go to the media and express some form of discontent. Like, that's the natural cycle and progression for how this goes. It's not reinventing the wheel. It's just how things go. But this guy out of nowhere just said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm a liberal now. And that's weird. And that should be looked into, right? It's not the first time someone's crossed party lines, but the stakes are very high. The timing is very peculiar. And the way it was done is very incognito and very under the table. At least that's how it feels. And that's weird. We've already had 10 years of that with Trudeau, right? We've already had the WE scandals and the Arrive scam. And now we've got Brookfield. And it's just, when does it end? When does it end, right?
That's the point I want to pick up on, though, because you mentioned d'Entremont being a red Tory, and he describes himself as such, a progressive conservative, perhaps more than just a Poilievre conservative. And he did throw that grenade as he walks out of the Conservative caucus room, saying there's no room for a conservative like him, which I think potentially creates a problem for Pierre Poilievre, because you had Tim Houston unwilling to campaign for him, and that's the conservative base in Atlantic Canada, more red Tory, more progressive conservative than perhaps reform conservatives from the West.
It is in Atlantic Canada. I think I would argue it is in Quebec, and it is in Ontario as well. And we saw that in the last election. I know.
Now, also, let me add a little bit more context. This is very much a double standard, right? If this were to happen to Trudeau, if Trudeau was in power and he was giving a speech about something or something was going on, and Freeland out of nowhere just said, you know what? Screw this, Trudeau. I don't like the budget you're trying to force upon me. I'm a conservative. I'm going to go under Pierre Poilievre's leadership. We would have been just laughing. I don't know how excited any one of us could have particularly have been for Freeland in this hypothetical scenario becoming a conservative. That would have put me in a very awkward position, since I have stickers. I made stickers about Freeland dressed as a witch riding a broom. That would have been like, oh, whoops. I didn't mean to do that. But you know what I'm saying? It's very much a double standard. The fact that it went the other way, though, but the timing of it is very peculiar. That's kind of the most interesting piece of this. But it's also sparking a whole new conversation about some form of reform for these types of floor crossings. Because there was no lead up to it. There's no indication this was happening. Even within his own personal circle, all his other friends, all his conservative friends, even if you feel Doug Ford's very much a liberal, but as a progressive conservative party. And I'm sure as heck confident that he has some radical liberals within the Ontario party that work for him. And they haven't just said, you know what, we're going to leave Doug Ford and we're going to go become liberals, right? It's kind of weird. The timing of it's all very strange.
My email box was full of people, and you had lots of Canadians. That's how Mark Carney was elected. There were people who are progressive conservatives in the country, and they are comfortable, and I think that's a good thing, with a reasonable, responsible, pragmatic plan that Mark Carney's puts forward to them, and they trust his approach to running the country. And maybe it's not a permanent trust, but at the moment when the comparator is Pierre Poilievre, it makes it easy for progressive Conservatives to lend their vote to the Liberals at this critical time in Canadian history. And so I do expect there are others that are actively considering, but they're just probably weighing their timing.
Mm-hmm. You said you're anxious to see the next election and to see Mr. d'Entremont run as a Liberal, but isn't that a problem for the party if he runs as a blue Liberal and can attract the red Tory vote over to his side?
Yeah, so I saw d'Entremont's comments in terms of the red Tory stuff, and I think that's interesting for a few reasons, because the red Tory segment of the party is basically a Liberal vote anyway, and d'Entremont was a PC MLA from 2003 to 2019, and then until yesterday, he was a Conservative MP, so he was comfortable up until this point. What exactly happens? Like, I know he said he wasn't offered anything, there was no offer of a cabinet position or anything of the sort, but how come you didn't come to this conversation before the last election?
But the point he's making is there's no room for a Conservative like him in a Conservative party run by Pierre Poilievre.
Yeah, who criticizes the RCMP. I mean, Poilievre hasn't learned from the election. It's one thing, I think, to put your name on the ballot with the leader in the election, lose, get smacked, get handed your hat, and hope that there's change and lessons learned and change in approach. But, you know, Poilievre is like a leopard or a Dalmatian. Like, those spots are not going to change, and he's just doubling down on it. So it makes it more uncomfortable for someone like Chris d'Entremont, who only won by 1.1% of the vote. There are a lot of Liberals in that
which
riding.
Which speaks to probably more of his self-interest than it does actual principle. Like, if
oh my God. I get that they're talking about they're specifically talking about how the Conservative MP jumped ship and became a Liberal. I understand that. This is what angers me a little bit, is the fact that they are so negative towards Pierre and the Conservatives, and the Conservatives aren't even in power. Conservatives are not the ones putting forward policy. They're not the ones that are getting the most press time. They're not the ones that are parading around the world, meeting with other world leaders, sabotaging trade deals and negotiations. Have any of these people been this critical of Doug Ford, who literally single-handedly destroyed trade talks between two nations, Canada and America? Has any mainstream media said, well, Doug Ford is like a Dalmatian, a fat one at that? You're not going to be changing those spots anytime soon. Like, has anyone said that? Has anyone said that about Mark Carney? Or they just try to kick a guy when he's down? They're just trying to make sure, like, this is why people have such a hard time trusting the media in Canada, is the media is always attacking the same group. They're never being fair. They're not attacking everybody equally. They're not finding the wrongdoings with the current government or the Liberals or anything. It's always the Conservatives. And that's why people don't trust the media in Canada.
If red Tories actually existed and weren't just Liberals, Jean Charest would have won the last federal Conservative leadership race. The Conservative Party under Poilievre is something different, and it's not, you know, middling centrists trying to just be the Liberals. So
yeah, we just saw that clip. I'm going to give a time update right now, folks. We are 10 minutes away from knowing whether or not Pierre Poilievre's amendments, first of all, what they are, because we don't even know what changes the Conservatives have suggested to the budget. They just said no, they're not going to support it. So we have no idea what those changes are, and we have no idea what that outcome is going to be. But in 9 minutes and 30 seconds, we'll have a bit of a better understanding.
also laundry rooms and other services. On the sustainability side, it's something very important to point. Each and every apartment would be about $200 a year to heat and cool. $200 a year because we use passive house standards. Where we stand. You hear that? $200 a year. I know. Yeah. So, and you have about 400 pillars right now under you that goes. 100 pillars that goes 400 feet down for geothermal. You actually got geothermal? Yeah, 400 feet down there. So 100 pillars. So we always made a point. Why? Because those assets will be outstanding. Yeah. For 40, you actually got one have the whole 50-year horizon. And is it? Yeah. And also having part of your
Bernie in Ottawa talking about a housing investment of some sort.
So one of the things, almost the insight, was the city signaling that they were putting yeah, exactly. Right. And that coordination so that we're getting rezoned in a way. And then as well, we've got a bunch of money in.
Can't really hear them, man.
Good to see you. You got a good career coming here. We're going to be building a lot of these. That's one of the pleasure. Nice to meet you. One of the messages today we were saying, say hi. Is we put in the budget, Minister of Housing. How do you feel all this? Your MPs, the MPs are reading. Of course, the mayor here. But we've got $25 billion in the federal budget to scale projects like this across the country. And then on top of that, the federal government has a lot of land, over time, and it's being consolidated under the Minister of Housing, so that we've got a land bank so that we can move quickly and coordinate with the city, so that land can be zoned so that we're building projects. And one of the big messages is, exactly what you're doing, different variants, obviously, in different places. We're just going to keep doing this at scale for decades because we need to catch up on affordable housing in the coming weeks. We all know that, and part of the solution is to build out. So cooperation with the city, OCH here in Ottawa, federal government there, the MP, he's driving all this, and you guys are actually doing all the work. So lots of work to come. And the other thing is, we're going to need more skilled trades, more people in the skilled trades. So we'll be building up with the unions and with the post-secondary institutions, like training for everything from pipe fitters, drywallers, electricians, welders, plumbers, etc. So it's good. Well, thank you. Thanks for what you're doing.
Why does he look so dorky?
Real pleasure. It's great.
Why does Cardi always look so freaking darky, man? Oh my goodness. We're almost there. I thought this piece, we can watch this clip as the last clip before we take a look at the vote, because the vote's going to happen here in a few minutes. This is a very weird clip here. The Alberta NDP MLA says that Danielle Smith's treatment of teachers is like the Holocaust, apparently.
Niemöller wrote a now famous poem, and I quote, "First they came for the communists, and I did not speak out because I was not a communist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew." And it continues. In today's Alberta, we could say, first, they came for the teachers, and I did not speak out because I was not a teacher. I could go on, Mr. Speaker, but I think I've made my point. Who is next? Who will be targeted by the UCP to lose their rights? The teachers have lost fundamental freedoms. In one day, the UCP invoked closure, ensuring that all stages of Bill 2 were passed. Bill 2 includes the preemptive use of the notwithstanding clause. Speak to any constitutional scholar, and you will learn that when the notwithstanding clause is used, it must have a full vetting by the public. It's an act that's extremely serious and to take away citizens' fundamental rights. In addition, MLAs were not given opportunities to fulfill their duties to examine legislation, bring forward their views, suggest amendments, and share the concerns of their constituents. I myself received hundreds of emails, postcards, and phone calls from teachers, parents, and students. The message from all of them universally was simple. Mr. Speaker, this is not democracy. How is this just? It is not. I want to thank the thousands of Albertans who are speaking out against the UCP's cavalier disregard for fundamental freedoms. Now to paraphrase. First, they came for the teachers, and we spoke out, because together we're better.
What in tarnation was that? I'm sorry for showing you guys that. I've got a headache. I'm probably going to have a bigger headache after this here. Okay. We're taking a look at the vote. It's in 2 minutes and 40 some seconds. Let's just make sure that we're fully live. Somehow I refreshed it and went back in time. There you go. 2 minutes and 20 seconds. I'm fully forward. 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Did it just go back again? There you go. 2 minutes and 13 seconds. Here's the budgetary policy. So for those that are just tuning in, this is the Conservative Party is putting forward their amendments for Mark Carney's Liberal budget. And this happens 3 times. The Conservatives get one. The Bloc Québécois gets one. And then the final vote on whether or not the budget gets approved takes place. So today, what they are voting on in the next minute and a half is, are they agreeing or disagreeing with the changes that the Conservative Party of Canada is putting forward on Carney's budget? Each official party in Canada gets to try and make changes. So the Greens not included, nor is the NDP. So today, Pierre Poilievre and, okay, yeah, I'll do that. I'll do a poll. I see you. Someone just asked me if I asked to do a poll. So I'm going to do a poll right now. So stay tuned in the comment section. Will the budget pass? Yes or no? So today, what's going on is they're voting on whether or not the Conservative Party's changes get approved or rejected. Likely rejected. Tomorrow, they're voting on whether or not the Bloc Québécois changes get approved or rejected. Likely rejected. And then on November 17th, they're voting on whether or not the budget gets passed. If it gets passed, we spend $80 billion in a deficit. So we're spending way more, but it'll be $80 billion deficit. If it doesn't pass, we have an election. But just so everyone's clear, expect this to get denied. It already has been said it's gonna be denied by Don Davies, the NDP interim leader. So we're just waiting now. It's not frozen. Don't worry. There you go. Now it's frozen. Guys, send it to me on X. Send it to me on X. Send it to me on X right now. Hold on. Hold on. I'm sorry. We need to put a pin in this. We need to put a pin in this. You remember a couple days ago? Send it to me on X, bro. Send it to me on X. I'm talking to my guy right now. He's watching the stream. Send it. I gotta text him right now because he just texted me. Send it. Okay, breaking news right now. I know you're like, whoa, what are you doing? The budget. Remember a couple days ago, yesterday, how you had one MP cross the line. Okay, one MP crossed the line, and this guy was supposed to be rumored to leave the Conservatives. Hold on a second. This is breaking news. No, I swear to God, you're not going to regret this. This guy was supposed to, there was rumors that he was going to be leaving the Conservatives and that he was going to be joining the Liberals, okay? Well, that's not the case. That's not what happened. In fact, what happened is worse. Breaking news, Matt Genereux has just resigned as a member of parliament. This guy right here just resigned. This guy right here just resigned. There was rumors that he was going to cross the floor, and he just resigned. It's not a rumor. It's true. He's just resigned. A Conservative MP out of nowhere who was rumored to cross the floor decided, well, I can't do that, so I'm just going to resign. Yep. He just straight up resigned. Straight up resigned, ladies and gentlemen. What the fuck is going on? All right, back to the budget.
And D, propose concrete and effective measures.
This is fishy, bro. This is fishy.
Climate change.
This is very fishy. What's going on?
Plan, seconded by Mr. Moore, moved the following sub-amendment, that the amendment be amended by deleting all the words after the words, quote, the government's budget statement, end quote, and substituting the following, quote, since instead of presenting an affordable budget so Canadians can have an affordable life, it presented a budget that fails to A, consider that every dollar the Liberal government spends comes out of the pockets of Canadians in the form of higher taxes and inflation. B, bring down the deficit to the level Liberals promised in their last fiscal update, which promised $42 billion last year. C, scrap hidden taxes on food, including the industrial carbon tax on farmers, the food packaging tax that adds billions in costs, and the fuel standard tax that adds 17 cents per liter to diesel and gasoline for farmers. D, end the inflation tax by bringing down the cost of government instead of printing money to pay Liberal bills. And E, include a plan for any oil and gas pipelines that would strengthen our nation's economy and get our resources to market, end quote. The 10-minute period for members voting electronically has started, and the House will now proceed to the vote for members participating in person. All those in favor of the sub-amendment will please rise.
Mr. Scheer.
Mr. Scheer.
Mr. Doherty.
Mr. Doherty.
Mr. Schmale.
Mr. Schmale.
Mr. Brock.
Mr. Brock.
Mrs. Block.
Mrs. Block.
Ms. Landsman. Mr.
Mr.
Chambers.
Chambers.
Mr. Albus.
Mr. Albus.
Mr. Lake.
Mr. Lake.
Mr. Caputo.
They can vote electronically.
Mr. Small.
Mr. Small.
Mr. Mazer.
Mr. Mazer.
Mr. Jennis.
Mr. Jennis.
Mr.
That's
Brassard.
2 votes lost to
Mr.
Conservatives.
Moore.
Mr. Moore.
I'm just going to lower the volume here a little bit
Mr. Workington.
because I'm going to be speaking, right? And all they're doing is naming names and saying yes or no.
Mr. Ross.
In 2 days, within 24 hours, the Conservatives just lost 2 voters. Chris D'Entremont, or whatever the fuck his name is, he didn't quit. He switched to the Liberals, gave them a +1. And just moments ago, literally moments ago, like 10 seconds ago, this guy just quit. This guy right here on screen just quit. Not as a Conservative to go become a Liberal. He quit as a federal MP. He's like, I'm out. I'm done. The rumors were true. They got me. I'm busted. I'm done. It's it. Like, what else? What other reason is there? He privated his Twitter account. That's it. Conservatism in Canada is imploding right now. And this isn't a coincidence. I want all the theories. I want all of you out there that are theorizing on stuff. start tagging me on some X posts, because this is insane. This is a blow to Pierre. This is a blow to conservatism. This is a blow to everything that we've been doing for the past several years of trying to get Trudeau out and win as a conservative majority, 99% likely to win the most seats, 99% likely of odds of a majority government. And now it's done. Resignations and crossing the floors.
Mr. Kimmich. Mr. Kimmich. Mr. Holman.
I can't believe it. So for those that are watching right now,
Mrs. Conant.
and who don't know what the hell we're watching, or maybe you need a little bit of context as to what's going on, let me tell you.
Mr. Ma.
Right now, what they're voting on is pushing forward the changes that the Conservative Party of Canada has proposed.
Mr. Strauss.
So the Conservative Party is all standing up and electronically voting in favor of, yes, we want our changes to be supported.
All those opposed, the sub-amendment will please rise.
And now the rest of Parliament is going to stand up and block it. Notice how all of the Liberals are there. Every single seat for the Liberal cabinet is there. Every single person is there. And that's not the case for the Conservatives. Pierre's not even there. Pierre's not even in the House. If you want to know what check and fucking mate looks like in politics, it's this right here. Justin Trudeau tanked the federal government. He tanked the Liberal Party so bad that Mark Carney came in and now he's just taken over with insane popularity, I guess, within Parliament and within, according to the last election, within Canadians. If you want to know what checkmate in politics looks like, it's this right here, folks. The Liberals have outplayed, outmaneuvered, and outdone the Conservatives. The Conservatives had their chance, they shot their load, and this is it. This is Canada. This is Canada now. This is what we have. We put our trust in a party, and it didn't work.
Ms. Alty. Ms. Gulmasty. Mr. Sarai. Ms. McLean, Esquimalt Sandwich Soup. Mr. Long.
This is what checkmate looks like.
Madame Chenette.
The Liberals are so apparently good at politics. Not good moral people, but good at politics. That they got a Conservative to leave in one of the most crucial times to join the Liberals, and they got a Conservative to quit.
Mr. Duguid. Mr. Fisher. Mr. Dhaliwal.
What the fuck is going on? Every single Liberal is there.
Mr. Asasi. Mr. Grant. Mr. Letao. Mr. Bardizi. Madame Kayabaga. Mr. Lamuder. Madame Briere. Mr. Turnbull. Mr. Kellaway. Monsieur Gay. Mr. Hogan. Monsieur Ramsey. Ms. Chi.
Joe says you're not going to start to cry, are you?
Ms. Dillon.
No, I'm not going to cry.
Mr. Fergus. Mr. Fonseca.
Not on camera.
Monsieur Iacono. Ms. Khalid. Monsieur Lauzon.
No, this is seriously what checkmate looks like.
Madame Desrochers. Ms. McKelvey.
The Liberal Party has never been more united than ever. This is insane.
Mr. Casey. Mr. Blois. Madame Bendayan.
No, this makes me kind
Madame
of sick,
Fortier.
man.
Mr. Oliphant. Mr. Baptiste. Mr. Clausen. Madame Lavac. Madame Koutrakis.
Big Nasty Barbecue,
Ms. Church.
who's a channel
Mr.
member,
McKinnon,
says, Jasper, how fucked are we?
Mr. McKinnon, Coquitlam.
Mr. Morrissey. Mr.
Buddy, get the
Shifke. Mr.
Get the
Sheehan.
coconut oil.
Ms. Cedar
We're
Brampton
fucked.
South.
Ms. Cedar Brampton South.
Ms.
This is it.
Vandenbelt. Mrs. Zaid.
Why isn't Pierre there? That's a
Ms. Yip.
phenomenal question.
Mr. Baker. Mr. D'Entremont. Madame Lalonde.
Joshua Myron, that's a
Mr.
phenomenal
Pawlowski.
question.
Mr. Weiler. Monsieur Zuberi. Mr.
What does this look like for
Olson.
Canada? This
Madame
looks
Lapointe,
like
Rivière de Mille.
this.
Mr. Baines.
We're now
Mr.
we're now
Courteau.
stuck with the Liberals for a very long time.
Ms. Hefner.
and they're going to win an election, whether it happens soon or whether it happens in years from now. We're stuck with a very large, and the next election is going to be a liberal majority election. Pierre's cabinet, his caucus, whatever you want to call it, his party is collapsing. Conservatism is collapsing. Conservatives can't be united on anything right now. And this isn't an exaggeration. Like, yeah, it starts with two people, but it started before these two MPs 24 hours ago. It started with the BC Conservatives out west. The party just imploded. And now the federal Conservatives are imploding. And this isn't it. Like, you're going to see more. You're going to see more. I don't know if you're going to see another person resign or cross the floor this week, but likely next week you're going to see more.
Ms. Sodi. Mr. St. Pierre. Ms. Tesser-Dirksen.
People are telling me that to shut the fuck up.
Monsieur Watchhorn.
Monsieur Garon.
Monsieur Garon.
Monsieur Fortin.
I mean,
Monsieur Fortin.
Monsieur Perron.
you can be mad at me, but I'm just a messenger. So the block is denying all of the changes that the Conservatives put forward. So the block is siding with the Liberals, so is Elizabeth May, and the people clapping were the Liberals. Denied.
The House will now wait for the electronic voting period to end.
You don't need electronic voting, but yeah, whatever.
Its proceedings.
It's done. Tout fini. Tout fini. Okay, yeah, we're gonna meet that. So I got 2 minutes. Pierre, of course, voted yay. Block voted nay. Of course, right? Usually Andrew Scheer's a bit of a troll and he'll vote the opposite of what he's supposed to. Freeland voted nay. Liberals, nay. Conservatives, yay. Keep an eye on Scheer. NDP voted nay, of course. Block, nay. Conservatives, yay. Block, nay. NDP, nay. Block, nay. Conservatives, yay. Block and Libs and, yeah, nay. Cons, yay. Nay, yay, nay, yay, nay. So unanimously, all of the Bloc and the NDP and the Green voted nay, and the Liberals. Then the only people that voted yay are the Conservatives that put forward the motion to make changes to the budget. That's it. So the Conservative changes that are proposed. Oh, hold on. It could have been an error. This could have been an error. I went back a second. The lone wolf, Louis Plamondon, voted yay. Louis Plamondon from the Bloc Québécois voted yay. He went against his party, dude. That's pretty funny. Could have been an error. Probably was, but that's pretty funny. Okay. Again, Liberals and Bloc unanimously, except for that one dude, voted nay. That's to put forward the changes that the Conservatives suggested for the budget. W for Louis. Yeah, man, throw a W down. Even if it wasn't an error, let's throw a W down for Louis. We're grasping at straws here, eh? We gotta take the W's when we have them. Bloc leader and NDP leader. Yeah, nay, 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 nay. So literally the only person that veered from their party. There you go. And he fixed it. I put an L down for Louis. Fuck you, Louis. He fixed it. Updated election. I told you it was an error. I told you. Fuck you, Louis. Boo. I knew it. Too good to be true.
I wish to inform the House that the electronic voting period has ended.
That's so funny, dude.
Vote due to technical difficulties. They may now use the raised hand function.
That's so funny.
The chair will recognize them. I don't see any hands raised.
Oh, man.
The table will now compile the results of the vote.
Yeas pour 139, 139. Nays contre 198, 198.
198.
Declare the sub-amendment defeated.
Wow. So the Conservatives get no say in the budget. The entire Parliament unanimously just blocked any changes that the Conservatives wanted to put forward, with a little bit of a roller coaster from Louis from the block, the 69-year-old geezer. That shit's pretty funny, man. Usually it's Andrew Scheer. Usually that's Andrew Scheer who does that.
We will be proceeding to private members' business momentarily, so I just ask members to either take their seats or take their conversations elsewhere so we can proceed to private members' business.
Okay. Yeah, so if you want to know what checkmate looks like in politics, we're seeing a very slow checkmate happening, unfortunately. I don't know if we're going to head into an early election. I don't know. I wish I had that answer, but I don't know. But what I do know, or what I don't know it, but what I'm really thinking is that the Liberals are somehow going to be able to pull this off. Okay, do you remember earlier on my House of Canada, am I on House Canada right now? Yes. Earlier when I was on streaming question period, okay, I had a bit of a meltdown. And that meltdown was over Chris D'Entremont, or whatever the hell his name is, the Conservative MP that quit the Conservatives and moved to the Liberals. And remember how he was on... I paused it for a second because I need to get this point across. Remember how Chris was on CBC and he was talking about something, and then he said, well, I talked it over with my Liberal friends, like my friends on the Liberal Party. And I was like, oh, man, what? And then I went on like a 10-minute or like 5 to 10 minute just meltdown earlier today, like 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago, about how I crashed out. Yeah. You guys remember that? Because the Conservative MP who just jumped ship to Liberals said that he's talking to his Liberal friends within the Liberal Party. And I was like, whoa, hold on a second. What do you mean Liberal friends? Like, not that these people, we wish like ill will on them, but like, we're not like good friends with these people. Literal polar opposites of what we're trying to do for the country. You remember that? Okay. Look at the bottom left of the screen right now. This is what pisses me off a little bit. Look at the bottom left of the screen, okay? Just right now, look at the bottom left. Do you know who this is? I don't have my mouse activated, but he's got our back to us at the very bottom left, talking to Steve McKinnon. That's Andrew Scheer. And Andrew Scheer is talking with Melanie Jolie. He's laughing, and with Steve McKinnon, and they're joking around, they're joshing around. And I don't know why, other than reasons that I've already stated, that this pisses me off. Like, I'm not saying that Andrew Scheer and other Conservatives should absolutely hate the guts of Liberal MPs. I'm not saying that. But in fact, they're saying it. Do you know how, if you go and look at Andrew Scheer and Pierre Poilievre's X page, it's all about how the Liberals have ruined Canada, ruined your life, ruined your opportunities. They're letting pedos and criminals out in the streets, and they want you dead because they're ruining everything. They are the problems. And the only solution, by the Conservatives' own words, is conservative policies. So by that notion, why the fuck is Andrew Scheer down there laughing with Jolie and Steve McKinnon? Does that make sense? Like, he's not saying, oh, good job on the vote. Like, they're talking about other things. Like, they're laughing about it. And you can say good job on the vote from the other side of the room. I don't like this. Because he literally says so much on his X account. Don't ever forget what Trudeau did. Don't ever forget what the Liberals did. Stay angry, stay mad, stay focused. Like, he's literally been saying those things. Yet he's over here laughing and joking around with the Liberals. Why are you telling me to be angry at the Liberals, and you're telling me that I shouldn't forget about Justin Trudeau and all of those things, yet you're joking with them and you're having a good time with them? Shouldn't you also be angry with them if you're telling me to be angry at them and you're trying to almost brainwash me to just always be angry at the Liberals, but you're over here having a good time with them? Isn't that a little bit hypocritical? Isn't there a problem with that? I think that there's a problem with that.
And I'll ask colleagues to please take their conversations behind the curtains or into the lobbies.
It almost reminds me of the masks, right? Remember during COVID, they were like, oh yeah, you have to wear a mask. And then they would start their press conferences and they wouldn't be wearing masks and the cameras are rolling. They'd be like, oh, put the mask on real quick. They'd be done speaking. They'd take the mask off. Oh, okay, it's all good now. It reminds me of that.
Order!
So that's the vote.
Colleagues, order. I'll ask members to please, once again, take their conversations outside, into the lobbies, behind the curtains, to allow the members to resume debate on private members' business.
Like, he's still there laughing and having a good time with Steve McKinnon. Does this look like an encounter?
6:06 p.m.
Like, if you didn't know who Steve McKinnon is, but you knew who Andrew Scheer is, and you're seeing the two of them laugh and joke around like this, okay? Don't you think they'd be like, oh, that's like a friendly, right? That's like, oh, they're friends.
The House will now proceed to the consideration of private members' business as listed on today's order paper.
Private members business, consideration at second reading.
That's very weird behavior. That's very, very weird behavior. Look, anyone who's played sports, okay? People are saying stop assuming. Look, man, I've played enough sports in my life to know that when I'm playing on team A and we're up against team B, okay? It's game on. Like, if my grandmother's on team B, like, sorry, grandma, but like, fuck you, dude. We're going to win at pretty much any cost. And it drives me nuts because, like, there's a difference between just being, like, respectful of the sport or respectful of the profession and, like, actually being friends. Like, okay, the World Series. Let's use the World Series as an example. Ohtani with the LA Dodgers versus Vladdy for the Blue Jays. They're opposing teams, right? Now just stick with me for this. They're opposing teams and they're both fighting for only one winner and one loser. So of course there's going to be tension, but they both respect each other because it's a sport. And when they do press conferences, they don't actually say, Vladdy doesn't go, well, Ohtani's a bitch and he should go back to Japan. And Ohtani doesn't go, well, Vladdy's a cuck. He's from Canada. Okay. Like that's not how they go about things. They're actually respectful from the beginning with their press conferences of each other. We respect the sport. Ohtani's a really good player, very good pitcher, awesome hitter, all around well-balanced player. He's phenomenal. And Ohtani returns that respect to Vladdy. And then when they're on base, when Vladdy's first base or whatever, and Ohtani gets to first as a runner, they'll like in between calls, in between plays, be like, oh yeah, that was pretty good, huh? That's very different than politics. With politics, you have Andrew Scheer literally telling us every day that we should be angry at Trudeau and we should be angry at Mark Carney. We should be angry with these people, right? Let's go look at Andrew Scheer's posts. Canadians are struggling because of the Liberals. Carney adds millions in debt every hour. So it's like constantly like he's the problem. It's all their fault. You should be angry with them. Be very, very angry. And then Andrew Scheer just like goes over and he just has a fun time with them. I don't like this part. This part makes me not trust anyone. When you are telling me to be angry with someone and then turns out that you're not even that same way. It's all theatrical. Yeah, I think I'm starting to fucking see that. It sends the wrong message. If you're going to constantly talk about how they're the bad guys, then fucking act like they're the bad guys. Don't act like they're your buddy. Not too long ago, even Andrew Scheer put out another post saying, don't forget what they did. Don't forget what they did. I'm trying to find it. Anyways. I don't like that. Why did the guy resign? We don't know. We don't know why the guy resigned. Matt Genereux, for those who have reached out, I am deeply grateful for your friendship and concern. However, I ask that you please not attempt to contact my family during this time. I ran in the last election hopeful that Canadians would put their faith in a team led by Pierre Poilievre's Conservatives, offering a chance to change Canada's perception in our own country and around the world. I wanted desperately to play a role in that vision. Although the outcome was not what I anticipated, I have great admiration for the many remarkable individuals who were elected to the House of Commons on both sides of the aisle, who continue to dedicate themselves in the betterment of our nation. Their work gives me faith that the momentum towards a stronger and more unified Canada endures. With all this in mind, earlier today I spoke with our opposition whip, a colleague and friend for whom I have the utmost respect, to inform him of my decision to resign as member of parliament. It was not an easy decision, but it is. I believe the right one. I hope to have the opportunity to address the House one final time in the future. So you know what the craziest part about this is? Is this fucking guy, his office told the media yesterday that he wasn't going to resign. Literally yesterday, they said, no, he's not going to resign. He's not going to resign. He's not crossing the floor. And today he resigns. So we can't even take them seriously because they're fucking lying. Our own team is lying to us. The Conservatives are lying to us. They're hiding the truth. It's not what it seems. They're friends with the Liberals. This shit is rigged. It's fake. It's gay. I can see how people start getting red pilled now. I can see it. Anyways, Conservative motion denied. Conservatives get no say in the budget. And my prediction is that the Liberals are going to get their majority government before the 17th. That's my prediction. Here you go. Andrew Scheer, not too long ago, August 22nd, said everything in Canada is worse under Carney than under Trudeau. Higher tariffs, less investment, more crime. Everyone who voted for Carney must feel like they were completely duped. Turns out Carney's not special, just another Liberal. So when someone says that, that's like a clear, like, oh, they are your enemy. Like, they're absolutely your enemy, and don't forget it. Yet, moments ago, that same guy, Andrew Scheer, was having fun and joshing around with the liberals. Yo, this shit is so fucking fake. Oh my God. The conservatives pulled off the biggest scam ever. They convinced us that they could win an election off of F. Trudeau, like off of singular people. Oh. All right. See you guys for more question period. Question period. See you guys November 17th for more question period. Oh man, I need a beer. Oh, my guy just texted me one more thing before I end the stream. Pierre Poilievre is not a quitter. Nah, but his cabinet is. His fucking cabinet is. Oh man. With Matt Jeneroux gone, it's 172 opposition versus 170 liberals. Carney needs one yes to pass the budget. Mark Carney needs one politician to vote yes for his budget. I need a beer.